Hey guys, what's going on? MaxFTE here, and today I'm back with another Pokemon Go video. Today we're going to be diving into the Great League Remix Cup again, with probably the strongest core that there is, even for regular Great League, excuse me. This is a really strong core, but yeah, did you also know that only 3.5% of people who watch my videos are actually subscribed? So if you're enjoying, make sure to leave a like, hit that subscribe, and help us on the road to 10k. But yeah, let's jump straight into the battles. So I do just want to actually clarify this by saying that I did not come up with this team. This is a team from Yonkis. Whether or not he actually made it, I'm not 100% sure. However, it was featured in a video of his, a really strong team, and I thought I'd give it a go. Give my sort of thoughts on it, how I sort of played with it, played around certain Pokemon, that sort of thing. But yeah, the sort of Dragonite and your sort of Empoleon core is a really strong. Is really strong. You've got Dragonite, which covers your sort of grass types, your water types, your fire types, electric types even to an extent, and so obviously Dragonite itself going to be really weak against fairies, really weak to ice types and dragons in itself, and rock as well. Dragonite going to be extremely weak against your Carbinks, sort of Skarmory, that sort of thing, and Empoleon pretty much just covers all of that. That's the sort of premise of these two Pokemon. They just cover each other perfectly. Having another double Steel type as well as the Berserker as the safe swap, which I had a lot of success with. There were some battles where I even sort of played it a bit incorrectly. However, just because of how strong the Pokemon are and how well they work with each other, I managed to wiggle around it. But yeah, Berserker up against the Scissor here. I think the one thing I noticed about the way that I played my Berserker was that I was in the situations where going for the close combat would be better. I was always too worried about going for the close combat and debuffing myself. Now in a situation like this where you've got Scissor with Bullet Punch, I mean, it worked out okay because we did get a shield, which is quite nice. However, had they not shielded, it would have worked out pretty badly for us. In cases like that, where the Bullet Punch is doing virtually nothing against you from the Scissor, it doesn't really matter about debuffing your defense, just because, again, it's a not very effective move, and it doesn't matter, you know what I mean? And so we've got the Dragonite up against the Galvantula here. Galvantula, we don't want to have that thing up against our Empoleon, so we're just going to shield up, and thankfully we managed to farm all the way down. I think they just barely actually reached the move, and so I don't know if they overtapped or what, but going for the superpower up against the Greninja, we are going to take that game, leading us to be 2-0. Dragonite up against the Annihilate. This one, we pretty much want to win switch, just because Annihilate does really well against our Empoleon and our Berserker. Obviously, we can hit for good neutral damage with the Trailblaze and the sort of Steel Wing Hydro Cannon. It's super effective with the Shadow Claw and the Drill Peck. However, it's easier for everybody if we just win switch at the start. We are 2 shields up, and so because we've got 2 steel types, we are going to swap into our Berserker, just because Empoleon is better against the Carbink than the Berserker, so we figured that would be as well save our better counter in the back. And so they're going to go for a Hydro Cannon up against our Berserker. We're going to save the shield. I think I actually save it for... I save it for the Dragonite, just because I know that there's nothing Carbink can throw against Empoleon that's even neutral. So, well, saying that... no, sorry, we actually save it for the Empoleon. I was kind of banking on them throwing a move against our Dragonite. However, they played it smart. They shielded all the way. They farmed all the way down, sorry. And so we're going to let this Hydro Cannon go through. Thankfully, it's still okay. We are going to be able to get to a Hydro Cannon, which is going to be doing a lot of super effective damage. Having the Steel Wing as well, double super effective damage, even against something like Carbink, which is so bulky. We are going to be able to manage to take them out here with such little health. And we are going to come out with a move loaded, going to throw it against the Feraligatr. Would have been okay going for Hydro Cannon, but 6 and 2 threes, we win that game. Next game, we've got Dragonite up against the Empoleon. That one's a bit iffy, so we're going to swap out into a Berserker, and so Gonna let them go for a move here. I think I shield the first one up just because Hydro Cannon is going to be doing a lot of damage. Berserker is also not the bulkiest, and so Trailblaze not going to be good up against the Mandibuzz. Pretty much one of the worst things you can see as the Berserker. Thankfully, that we can be doing neutral damage with the close combat, but I want to say that I charge up to double before I actually go for that. I'm going to throw in good timing. This is going to be doing maybe about 30%, maybe a bit more than 30 actually. And thankfully we do manage to reach another close combat. And they're going to shield up. So we are now even shields, which is quite nice. And going to come in with the Empoleon. Don't have to shield up just because Empoleon, it's not going to be taking that much damage. And they also go for an Aerial Ace for some reason. I'm not sure if they just anticipated us to swap straight into our Dragonite. However, they're going to now throw a Dark Pulse, which we are going to be able to shield up, which is really nice. They're going to come back in with their Empoleon. I'm going to throw a Hydro Cannon. This is going to be doing, even though it's not very effective, it does still do a good amount of damage. And so I did actually try to catch a move onto the Dragonite. And so, unfortunately, didn't manage. Just going to go straight for the Dragon Claw, however. Because it's probably going to get shielded, I want to say. Which it does. And so they're going to throw a move. This is going to be taking out our Dragonite. And they do go for an Ice Beam. I think they would have gotten away with just going for a Hydro Cannon at that range. However, I was counting here. I threw on the CMP tie for the Hydro Cannon. And I know that Empoleon wins it against Feraligatr. They do get to a move. And it is just barely not going to take sight. And we're going to be able to go for a move and take them out because we did have more health than them there. So we really should not have won that game. That game was too close for comfort. Nightmare lead. However, this is what I really love about having the double steel type in the back. And so we come in with our Berserker. And they come in with an Empoleon, which isn't actually that good for them. I think in even shields, we sort of win this. I can't actually remember. I know that if I know shields down, Empoleon would probably win, depending on sort of energy advantage, that sort of thing. We're gonna go for a Trailblaze, double Trailblaze, and I think at this point it's just grabbed one shield at this point. No, sorry, it's grabbed both shields. Okay, that's quite good. And we are just barely going to be able to farm all the way down, which is really nice. Ninetales is going to come back in. And thankfully, I think this game is pretty much in the bag at this point, unless we've got something that totally walls Dragonite and Empoleon. However, you don't really get something like that. We do manage to farm all the way down with the Empoleon, and Dragonite lives to see another day. But yeah, thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like. If you didn't enjoy, leave a dislike, let me know why in the comments. And I will see you guys in the next video. See ya! Peace.